Okay. So data normalization is part of creating us an efficient and of course effective database. To start with, let us identify first our objective that we need to achieve for this week. For the first objective, we have here differentiate the dependent from independent fields. And of course, second objective, distinguish and discuss the data normalization. So later on, I'm going to perform or I'm going to demonstrate to you on how are you going to perform the data normalization, the importance of the data normalization, and why do we need to perform the data normalization and how to do it. Okay? But before, let us identify or define first what is a data normalization. For the first one, we have here our definition came from or na inilagay ko sa inyong module. So it says here, database organization and stability are achieved through data normalization. So which means, once you perform a data normalization, you are now making your database system more organized and stable. Okay? Because data normalization is focusing on the organization and of course the stability of our database system. So ginagamit natin siya or pina-perform natin siya para maging organized and maging stable ang ating database system at para maging efficient and effective to use the database system. Second definition, the purpose of this is to develop a database that is less susceptible and of course or vulnerable to update anomalies. Once you perform the data normalization, you're going to encounter or you will be encountering lots of anomalies. Lots of anomalies based on the result of your data normalization. Um, but I'm going to discuss or present to you only 3 anomalies that is commonly encountered once you perform the data normalization. Okay? Now, I'm going to show you on how to perform the data normalization kung paano nga ba siya gawin. So, paano nga ba siya gawin by giving you example situation kung saan i-apply natin ang data normalization. Then afterwards, I'm going to give you or present to you the different or the 3 anomalies na may encounter natin once we perform the data normalization. And of course, yung mga anomalies na yan or disadvantage na yan, bibigyan natin yan ng solution. Isa-solve natin yan by performing also the first data normalization, second data normalization, up to the third data normalization. But ang focus muna natin ngayon is how to perform the data normalization. Okay? Then next week, we are going to perform naman the first data normalization. Then the following week will be second. And of course, following will be third data normalization. Okay, this is how are you going to perform the data normalization. So example, we have here the actual form of enrollment form. So enrollment form, ito yung finifill outan ng estudyante, finifill upan natin in order for us to enroll into a certain school. So it will, or this form will ask you for your ID. Okay, student ID, student name, and of course we have here the contact numbers, and of course the subject code, and of course the subject description, the units, and college, and of course the course of the student. And of course included din dyan yung register signature and the total units of the subject. Okay? Unit totals of the subject. Okay? So, if we are going to normalize this one or if we are going to perform a data normalization onto this form, then it will going to be or the result will look like this one. Okay? Okay, now, pag sinabi kasi nating data normalization, which means the actual form will be converted to the database form naman. Okay, pag sinabi nating database form, it means we are going to work with table because working with table means working with database. So as you can see, dito sa actual form natin, nandyan din yung mga hinihinging information. Example will be student ID, student name, contact number, college, course, subject code, and of course the subject description, and of course the units of the subject. Okay, kaya lang, napapansin nyo ba wala si Anong wala? Meron si student ID, student name, contact number, subject code, subject description, the units, the college, and the course. Pero wala si register signature. Okay, bakit wala si register signature? Because register signature is done only para mas maging valid siya. It is done only through paper and pen. Okay, kaya hindi natin siya in-include sa ating database system. Then, the total units or unit total is not also included. Why? Because that is a calculated field names. If we are going to create a table, you should not include a calculated field names. Kasi, i-include natin ang calculated field names if we are going to perform a query or SQL. Query and SQL will be discussed on our future lessons. Pero, yung calculated field names kasi hindi siya pwedeng i-include sa table natin. Kasi, calculated field names is included only using query or SQL. Okay? Dun lang siya na-include. Pero, query and SQL is the same or looks the same as the table. Pero, ang difference lang nila from the word query, yun yung parang search engine natin. Okay? So, calculated field names. Sa table, we cannot include calculated field names sa ating table. And this table is now what we call the flat file database. Flat file database is discussed or was discussed on our first quarter. So, pag sinabing flat file database or flat file table, all of the information or all information gathered is stored in one table only. And that table doesn't have any relationship to the other table. So, lahat ng information na nag-gather, nandyan silang lahat, pero it is not organized. So, yun siya. Okay? Now, here are the different anomalies that you might encounter using that table. Okay? Using that table or using that flat file table. For the first anomaly, is insertion anomaly. From the word insertion, magkakaroon tayo dyan ng anomalya sa pag-i-insert ng information using that kind of table. So, paanong magkakaroon ng anomalya sa insertion? Example, meron tayo ditong bagong estudyante at ang pangalan niya ay Jose. Okay, ngayon, si Jose mag-enroll sa school natin. So, once na mag-enroll si Jose sa school natin, then, yung mga information ni Jose ay i-encode sa ating database system through the encoder. So, si encoder, i-encode niya ngayon yung mga information ni Mr. Jose sa ating database system. Ngayon, si encoder, instead na ang i-encode niya na course ay botany na ganyan ang spelling, pero ang na-encode niyang information na course ni Mr. Jose is ganitong botany. So, doon na tayo magkakaroon ng anomalya kasi kapag ka na-wrong spelling yung course ni Mr. Jose, siya lang ang ganyan, it means invalid na po yung enrollment ni Mr. Jose. Kahit once na natapos niya ang schooling niya, hindi po magiging valid ang kanyang course because wala tayong tinatawag na botany na ganyan. Ganyan ang spelling. So, doon na tayo nagkaroon ng anomalya sa insertion. Pagkakamali sa pag-i-insert ng information sa ating database system. So that is the insertion anomalies. For the second anomaly, we have also the deletion anomalies. For the deletion anomalies, let's say for example, we offer a new subject or a school is offering now a new subject and that subject is no other than Holistic Medicine 101. Into that subject, holistic medicine, since that is a new subject, it has only 2 students. Okay, the student A and of course, we have the student B. For the student A, since medyo mahirap daw ang Holistic Medicine 101, nag-drop si student A sa ating subject. So, ang ginawa ng encoder, since flat file table, yung ating information or flat file yung ating database system, ang gagawin ni encoder once na nag-drop si student A, i-delete niya yung student A. Pero kasamang ma-delete yung iba't ibang information ni student A, kagaya ng mga grades niya, scores niya, ma-delete yon. Okay? Tapos, si student B nag-drop naman sa school. So, ma-delete ulit yung information ni student B. So, ang magiging anomalies natin dito, what if nag-ask ng record si student A at student B sa ating school? Wala na tayong may bibigay na records nila kasi nga wala na po tayong records na naka-store sa ating database system because it is now deleted. Kaya yon tinatawag nating deletion anomalies. Okay, doon na tayo nagkaroon ng anomalya sa pagde-delete ng information. So, dapat sa ating database, hindi tayo dapat nagde-delete ng information, but we can transfer information to the different tables, but we should not delete information. Okay? Kasi paano kapag ka nag-request yung ating client na ni-request niya yung information na yan, and na-delete na, hindi na tayo makakapagbigay ng information. So, deletion anomalies. For the third anomalies, we have also the modification anomalies. We have one subject, let's say for example, the ecology 2. For that ecology 2, it has a subject code, or the current subject code of ecology 2 is B058. Ngayon, papalitan natin ito ng B099. Okay, now kung papalitan natin ng B099, what if we have thousands of students enrolled in ecology 2? So, paulit-ulit na i-type ni encoder o paulit-ulit na i-modify ni encoder isa-isa yung mga estudyanteng yon. Yung 1,000 students na yon, paulit-ulit niyang i-modify yung subject code ng ecology 2. Okay, until such time umabot siya sa pinakadulo ng students, which is very risky kasi paano kapag nasobra naman niya ng 9? So, insertion anomaly na naman yon. Insertion anomaly and the modification anomaly. Okay, now, to solve these three anomalies, we are going to perform the first data normalization and second data normalization up to the third data normalization in order for us to avoid these following anomalies. Okay, ito yung mga na-encounter natin once we use flat file database. Pero for now, first data normalization will be discussed next week. That will be our topic next week. But for now, ang fino-focus natin ngayong week is no other than the data normalization, on how to perform the data normalization and what is a data normalization itself. Once we said data normalization, you're going to convert the actual form into a database form, which is a table. Okay, parang ganito. The actual form, converting it into database form. So, di ba pag sinabing database form, we are going to work with or store information through table. Because working with table means working with database system. And of course, using this kind of table or flat file table, we might encounter anomalies, and three common anomalies will be insertion anomaly, deletion anomaly, and of course, the modification anomalies. Okay? So, question po, SIJ? May SIJ pa ba? Okay, kung wala ng question, then let us proceed to the recitation. Reminder, recitation will be 10 points each recitation. You can use your microphone or you can just type in your answer on the chat box, then babasahin po natin. Okay, and of course, thank you, Stephanie, for leading us a prayer. That is still additional 5 points for your week number 2. What is your last name again, Stephanie?
Alonzo, sir.
Okay, Alonzo. Stephanie Alonzo. Alonzo. And later on, please do not log out. Let me just check first your attendance before you logging out. Okay, but before that, let us proceed to the recitation. 10 points each recitation. If you cannot use your microphone, then you may use your chat box. Okay, type in your answer. For the recitation, how does the data normalization help us in creating an efficient and effective database? Paano nga ba nakakatulong si data normalization sa paggawa ng napakaganda at napaka-useful na database system? Okay, meron agad na sagot si Ms. Artea. Okay, she said, data normalization help us to organize and stable our database system. Moreover, it help us to eliminate duplicated data precisely and of course ensure that all information is understandable. Okay? Thank you, Miss Artea Simbe. That is still 10 points. Okay, who else? Simbe. Wala na? Si Simbe lang? Okay, we still have 6 minutes. Okay. Si, if I'm not mistaken, your last name is Tan. Pan Shanying. Tama ba? Okay, normalization go beyond this space and its related effects. Okay, thank you. And Aniko. Wait lang. Okay. Aniko, basically, according naman kay Maria Angela Aniko, basically, normalization is the process of efficiently organizing a data in a database. There are two main objectives of data normalization process. Eliminate redundant data. Very good. Redundant data is storing the same information or the same data in more than one table and ensure data independencies make sense. Only storing related data in the table. Okay, who else? Okay, Araos. Sabi naman ni Ashley, it organize our data so that we can understand it easily and efficiently. Okay, very good. Miss Araos. Araos. Okay, wala na? Mukhang walang may gustong magsalita ng through microphone. Okay, according to Stephanie naman, sabi niya, data normalization help us to organize and understand or utilize easily that database for further queries and analysis. Okay, thank you, Stephanie. Very good. Stephanie Alonzo. Ayan, daming recitations ha.